I smell chalk dust again as Justin, the boy who once called me future wife before dumping me, orders me to give my debate captain badge to shiny new transfer Ellie. The fluorescent lights of Central High's debate room buzz overhead, casting everyone in that sickly pale glow that makes even the popular kids look desperate, including Justin, with his perfect teeth and calculated smile. Maya, you know it's for the best, he says, voice dripping with fake concern. Ellie's experience at her last school? Well, she's just more qualified to lead us to nationals. I nod, outwardly meek. Inside, I remember I'm reborn 2 months before finals and already know where each move will lead. This isn't my first time through this particular hell. The timeline reset when I swallowed that strange pill the fortune teller gave me at the carnival last summer. For those who need a second chance, she'd whispered. I'd thought it was a joke until I woke up back in February, memories intact. Justin's best mate, Parker, leans against the whiteboard, not even trying to lower his voice. Maya's half deaf, she'll get chewed alive at Ridgeview High. Justin scoffs, flicking his gaze toward me to make sure I can't hear. But my hearing aid catches everything. She'll crawl back in 10 weeks, begging for her old spot. They always do. I tuck the debate captain badge into Ellie's palm, our fingers brushing. Her smile is genuine. She doesn't know she's just a pawn. I'm about to walk away when the overhead projector suddenly glitches, cycling through files before landing on something unexpected. Screenshots of last year's debate notes. My notes. The ones Justin claimed Ellie wrote. The room goes silent as team members squint at the evidence of my first hidden countermove. What the hell? Justin lunges for the projector controls. Too late, everyone's already seen. At my new dump school, Ridgeview High, teachers mostly ignore me. The classrooms are overcrowded, the textbooks outdated. During my third gym class, a basketball nails my hearing aid, shattering the expensive device. The coach shrugs it off with a boys will be boys comment while Dylan, the team captain, high-fives his friends. I crumple against the wall, pretending to cry while discreetly filming the scene with my phone camera angled just right to capture their celebratory gestures and the coach's deliberate neglect. That night, I secretly email the video to the school board, attaching Ridgeview's zero-tolerance policy on disability discrimination, highlighting the relevant paragraphs. Then, I delete all evidence from my phone, wipe my browsing history, and power down my laptop. No one will trace it back to me. The next morning at Central High, I casually walk past the debate team's table in the cafeteria. Justin flaunts Ellie's rising test scores to the rest of the team. Scores copied from the study guide I accidentally left in an unlocked Google Drive folder labeled Personal Notes Do Not Share. The irony doesn't escape me as I hear him praising her brilliant analytical skills. I'm halfway across the cafeteria when my phone buzzes with notifications. Ridgeview is conducting a disciplinary assembly live streamed to fulfill their new transparency mandate after previous bullying incidents. Dylan, the basketball captain, is being suspended publicly. My name trends locally as the disabled transfer student bullied by athletes. Through the cafeteria window, I see Justin watching the live stream on his phone, jaw slack as he realizes the connections forming between his actions and mine. 3 weeks later, Ellie submits my research notes for the National Science Fair. Judges call them groundbreaking. I stand in the back of the auditorium during the announcement, watching her accept accolades for my year-long project on acoustic wavelength adaptation in hearing-impaired individuals. The project I'd shared with Justin during the late-night study sessions when I still believed his promises. Your girlfriend's pretty smart, whispers a Ridgeview classmate who's also attending the fair. Too bad she stole everything from you. I smile enigmatically. We'll see how it plays out. That night, I submit the genuine project with expansions and improvements under a pen name to the International Young Scientist Competition. It's a larger, more prestigious event with a live broadcast final scheduled 2 weeks after nationals. I attach video evidence of my original work, including time-stamped lab footage Justin doesn't know I kept. The night before finals, my phone lights up with Justin's name. I almost decline, but curiosity wins. Maya? His voice sounds strained. Come back. Ridgeview is killing your Cambridge dream. Their academic record is garbage. You'll never get accepted from there. I run my finger along the edge of a letter I received that morning. An early acceptance to Cambridge's summer immersion program based on my exemplary research contributions. We'll see, I whisper and hang up. At midnight, my phone pings with a notification. The international competition has posted its finalist list. My pseudonym sits at number 1, invitation to present at the worldwide broadcast already secured. The science fair judges discover the plagiarism during the national competition's final round. They strip Ellie's medal mid-assembly while students film her collapse into tears. The Central High principal looks ashen as reporters shout questions about academic integrity violations. I didn't know, Ellie sobs into a microphone. Justin gave me the research. He said it was collaborative work that Maya abandoned. The cameras swivel to Justin, who stands frozen at the edge of the stage. His college recommendation committee members are in attendance. I made sure of it with anonymous emails suggesting they might want to witness Central High's moment of triumph. Now they demand an explanation as his scholarship applications are flagged for review. Meanwhile, I appear passive, studying at a table in Ridgeview's rundown library while methodically forwarding anonymous tip packs to news blogs about Central High's pattern of academic dishonesty. Each packet contains just enough verifiable information to keep reporters digging. Rain begins falling as I leave the library. Through the downpour, I spot a familiar figure at Ridgeview's gates. Justin, clutching a bouquet of white roses, my favorite. He's soaked already, hair plastered to his forehead, looking nothing like the confident debate captain who discarded me. The next morning, I arrive at Ridgeview wearing the school's plain navy blazer. But something's different. Reporters swarm the entrance, calling out questions and a name I haven't heard in years. Ms. Harrington! Ms. Harrington! How does it feel returning to your grandmother's legacy? Justin, still waiting by the gates, looks bewildered as photographers angle for shots of me. The principal meets me at the entrance, flanked by board members in formal attire. Miss Harrington, we apologize for the circumstances of your experience here. Had we known you were Margaret Harrington's granddaughter. My parents appear behind me, finally dropping the secret they've kept for 17 years. My late grandmother didn't just attend Ridgeview. She endowed it. The family fortune remained in trust. My identity kept secret so I'd grow resilient. Develop character without privilege interfering. We wanted you to succeed on your own merits, my father explained to the assembled press. But we can no longer stand by while our daughter faces discrimination at the very institution her grandmother built. The board announces a merit scholarship program in my name. I'm officially fast-tracked to Cambridge's summer program as Ridgeview's exceptional student despite my short enrollment. My phone buzzes with notifications. Central High's debate team live streaming their emergency meeting from detention hall. Justin watches me from the screen, eyes hollow with recognition. An hour later, he texts, "I'm outside your house, ready to apologize, please." Justin kneels on the curb outside my family's modest suburban home, the home we maintained despite our means, part of my parents' plan to keep me grounded. He's drenched, rain still coming down in sheets. "Forgive me, Maya, let's start over," he pleads, offering the now bedraggled roses. "I didn't know who you really were." I step forward not to accept his flowers, but to hand him a sealed envelope. Inside is the termination letter for his father's position as school trustee. My silent investigation exposed years of embezzlement from school funds, including money earmarked for disability accommodations. "That's exactly the problem, Justin," I say evenly. "You only see worth in people when they have something you want." The family driver opens the limo door behind me. We're headed to the airport for my early departure to Cambridge. "Maya, please," Justin's voice cracks. "I loved you." I answer with a calm no, step into the limo and close the door. Through the tinted window, I watch him fade into the gray distance. As we pull away, my seatmate Ryder, the Ridgeview troublemaker I secretly tutored after discovering his undiagnosed dyslexia, takes my hand. "Ready for the next chapter?" he asks quietly. 6 months later, the ocean breeze ruffles my hair as I stand on Brighton Pier. England has been everything I hoped for: challenging academics, genuine friends, and most importantly, freedom from the person I used to be. Ryder sketches the coastline nearby, while I video chat with my Cambridge mentors about expanding my research into affordable hearing aid technology for developing countries. He transferred to a London art school after receiving a surprise scholarship, one anonymously endowed by the Harrington Foundation. The late afternoon sun casts long shadows across the boardwalk. I breathe in the mingled scents of caramel coffee from a nearby cafe, salt spray from the waves below, and listen to a guitar busker playing something soulful nearby, a life unmarred by betrayal. My new normal. My phone buzzes with a text from Justin. Please talk to me. One conversation. I delete it without responding and turn off my phone. Ryder looks up from his sketch. Everything okay? I smile, watching seagulls wheel against the darkening sky. Perfect. Some cycles break only when you walk away smiling and never look back. Ms. Harrington? The voice startles me as I walk through Ridgeview's dreary halls. The unfamiliar use of my family name is still strange to my ears. It's Principal Davis, whose demeanor toward me has shifted dramatically since my outing as the Harrington heiress. The board meeting is this afternoon, she says, her smile overly bright. They're quite excited to have you observe. I nod politely. Thank you for the reminder. What Principal Davis doesn't know is that I've been collecting evidence about Ridgeview's systematic neglect of disabled students for weeks. Not just my broken hearing aid incident, but dozens of similar cases spanning years. The board meeting will be illuminating, but not in the way she expects. The transformation in how people treat me is both fascinating and revolting. Teachers who ignored me now trip over themselves to offer assistance. Students who barely acknowledged my existence suddenly invite me to their lunch tables and weekend parties. All except Dylan and his basketball teammates, who've been watching me with increasing wariness since his suspension. I feel their eyes on me as I navigate the crowded cafeteria, carrying my tray to an empty table in the corner. Mind if I join? Ryder slides into the seat across from me, his dark hair falling across one eye. He's wearing the same worn leather jacket he had on the first day I arrived when he showed me to my locker without the mockery I'd received from everyone else. Free country, I respond, pushing my untouched apple toward him. Heard you're attending the board meeting, he says, taking a bite. Careful with those sharks. I raise an eyebrow. Experience? My dad was on the board before. He trails off, shrugging. Before he wasn't. I make a mental note to investigate that particular thread later. Ryder has always been an enigma. Brilliant in the English tutoring sessions I've been helping him with, yet deliberately underperforming in class. My phone buzzes with a text from Justin. Ellie failed the prelim presentation. Team falling apart. We need you. I smile slightly, tucking the phone away. The debate team's disintegration is progressing exactly as expected. Justin's desperation is right on schedule. After school, I slip into the back row of the board meeting. The members are discussing budget allocations, specifically the Disability Services Fund that somehow shrinks every year despite increasing enrollment of students with special needs. I record everything on my phone, concealed in my jacket pocket. When Trustee Williams, Justin's father, suggests reallocating funds from the accessibility budget to new athletic equipment, I snap a quick photo of the budget document being passed around. That night, I create an anonymous email account and carefully compile my evidence. Financial records showing systematic diversion of accessibility funds, testimonials from students I've interviewed, and board meeting recordings. I send the package to the Department of Education's Civil Rights Division, the local newspaper, and 3 disability rights organizations. Then I delete the account, wipe my digital footprints, and sleep better than I have in months. The next morning, my phone explodes with notifications. Justin has tagged me in a social media post. A throwback photo of us at last year's debate tournament, his arm around my waist, both of us smiling with matching trophies. Missing my partner in crime, his caption reads. Central High debate isn't the same without you, M. The comments are brutal. Didn't you kick her out? Two-faced much? She's literally thriving without you, lol. I allow myself a small smile as I scroll through the comments. Phase 2 is unfolding perfectly. Justin's reputation crumbling as Central High students begin questioning his narrative. As I walk into Ridgeview, whispers follow me through the hallway. Not about being the Harrington heiress this time, but about the Department of Education investigators spotted in the main office. Principal Davis intercepts me before first period, her smile significantly less bright than yesterday. Maya, dear, there seems to be some confusion about our accessibility protocols. Would you happen to know anything about a complaint filed with the Department of Education? I widen my eyes innocently. No, but I'm glad they're looking into it. My experience here hasn't exactly been accommodating. Her smile tightens. Yes, well, we're doing our best with limited resources. Are we? I ask, tilting my head. The Harrington Foundation Endowment specifically allocated $3 million for accessibility improvements that seem to have vanished. The color drains from her face. I'm sure there's an explanation. I'm sure there is, I agree pleasantly. I look forward to hearing it. Later that afternoon, my phone vibrates with an email notification. The International Young Scientist Competition has confirmed my presentation slot. Prime time during the televised portion of the event. Perfect timing to expose Ellie's plagiarism on the largest possible stage. As I leave school, I spot Ryder sitting on the steps, sketching in his tattered notebook. He looks up as I approach, closing the book quickly. Heard about the investigation, he says. Board's in panic mode. Good, I reply, sitting beside him. They should be. He studies me for a long moment. You're not what you seem, are you? Neither are you, I counter, nodding toward his hidden sketchbook. Dyslexic, right? But brilliant with visual concepts. His eyes widen slightly. How did you... I notice things, I say simply. Like how you memorize instructions instead of reading them. How you record lectures instead of taking notes. A wry smile crosses his face. Takes one to know one, I guess. Your hearing. It's worse than you let on, isn't it? I nod, unexpectedly touched by his perception. I read lips. Most people never notice. Most people aren't paying attention, he agrees. My phone buzzes again, another text from Justin. Science fair judges requesting original research notes from Ellie. What do I do? I show Ryder the message, expecting him to laugh. Instead, he frowns. Be careful, he warns. Cornered rats bite hardest. I'm counting on it, I tell him, tucking the phone away without responding to Justin. That evening, I receive an email from Cambridge University. They're sending representatives to the international competition specifically to see my research presentation. The timing couldn't be more perfect for the next phase of my plan. As I prepare for bed, my window rattles with a soft tap. I part the curtains to find Ryder standing in our side yard holding up a flash drive. What are you doing here? I whisper after opening the window. Found something you should see, he replies, tossing the drive to me. Board meeting recordings from when my dad was forced out. Thought it might help your case. I catch the flash drive, surprised by his alliance. Why are you helping me? He shrugs, hands in his pockets. Maybe I'd like to see justice for once. Then, with a half smile, or maybe I just enjoy watching chaos unfold. As he walks away, I realize I've misjudged him. Ryder isn't just another pawn in my game. He's playing one of his own. The science fair auditorium buzzes with anticipation as judges circulate among the projects. I stand at the back, watching Ellie nervously adjust her display, my research reformatted with her name prominently featured. Justin hovers nearby, coaching her on presentation points he learned from me months ago. Dr. Langford, head of the judging committee, pauses longer at Ellie's booth than others, his white eyebrows furrowing as he examines her methodology. I recognize the moment his suspicion takes root, the slight tilt of his head, the way he flips back to review earlier pages of her research journal. Ms. Chen, he says, voice carrying in the momentary hush, your adaptation theory for acoustic processing is quite revolutionary. How did you account for the neural pathway variations? Ellie freezes, eyes darting to Justin, who steps forward smoothly. Ellie developed a proprietary algorithm that... I believe I addressed my question to Ms. Chen. Dr. Langford interrupts, gaze unwavering. I slip out before witnessing Ellie's inevitable fumble, the seed of doubt now planted. The investigation will unfold whether I'm present or not. Outside the auditorium, I check the flash drive Ryder gave me, scanning through board meeting minutes from 3 years ago. The documents reveal a pattern more disturbing than I anticipated. Justin's father didn't just embezzle funds, he orchestrated the removal of board members who questioned his activities, including Ryder's father. My phone rings. Ryder. Did you review the files? He asks without preamble. Just finishing, I reply. It's worse than I thought. That's why Dad drinks now, he says, voice flat. They destroyed him, branded him as unstable when he tried to expose them. I feel a pang of genuine sympathy. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry, he responds. Be effective. The international competition, that's your moment, right? How did you know about that? Like you said, I pay attention. I can hear his smile through the phone. Need any help? I hesitate, unaccustomed to accepting assistance in my carefully orchestrated revenge. Maybe. I'll think about it. That evening, I finalize my international competition presentation, incorporating elements that subtly expose Ellie's plagiarism without explicitly accusing her. The judges will make the connection themselves once they see the original research timestamps, the methodological consistency that only comes from years of work. My phone buzzes with notifications from the science fair. Ellie has been awarded first place, her tearful acceptance speech already circulating on social media. Justin stands proudly beside her in photos, one arm around her waist in the exact pose from our photo last year. The triumph will be short-lived. The National Science Journal has already requested her full research package for their Young Innovators feature, another trap I set through an anonymous email suggesting they profile her work. Late that night, my doorbell rings. I open it to find Justin on our porch, looking uncharacteristically disheveled. We need to talk, he says, voice low. The judges are asking questions Ellie can't answer. I lean against the doorframe. That sounds like a personal problem. Maya, please. His eyes hold genuine fear. They're requesting original lab notes, developmental sketches, everything. If they discover that you stole my research, I finish for him. Interesting predicament. He runs a hand through his hair. I know I hurt you. I made a terrible mistake. But this could destroy Ellie's future too. And she didn't know. For a moment, I feel a flicker of doubt. Ellie may have been an unwitting accomplice, manipulated by Justin as I once was. But then I remember her smug smile as she accepted my debate captain badge, how quickly she moved into my position, in the team and in Justin's affections. You should have considered the consequences before you took what wasn't yours, I say evenly. Maya, I'm begging you. He steps closer, desperation in every line of his body. Help us fix this. I'll give you full credit, make a public apology, anything. I study him, seeing clearly the pattern I missed before, how his contrition only appears when his position is threatened. It's too late for that. What do you want? He demands, voice rising. Revenge? Will that make you happy? This isn't about happiness, I tell him truthfully. It's about justice. I close the door in his protest, but sleep eludes me. At 3 a.m., I text Ryder. I might need that help after all. The next morning brings news that rocks both schools. The science fair judges have flagged Ellie's project for review due to inconsistencies in methodology documentation. The award ceremony scheduled for that afternoon is postponed pending investigation. Justin calls repeatedly throughout the day. I decline each call until the final one, when curiosity wins out. Come back, he pleads, desperation sharpening his voice. Ridgeview is killing your Cambridge dream. Their academic record is garbage. You'll never get accepted from there. I trace the edge of the Cambridge letter on my desk. The early acceptance no one knows about yet. We'll see, I whisper and disconnect. Later that evening, Ryder meets me at a coffee shop halfway between our neighborhoods, his sketchbook tucked under his arm. Ready for the nuclear option? He asks, sliding into the booth across from me. I hesitate. Is it too much? After what they did to my father, to you? His eyes harden. Not nearly enough. He opens his sketchbook, revealing not artwork, but a meticulously constructed timeline connecting board financial decisions to specific events at both schools. Debate team funding mysteriously increasing after Justin became captain. Science department budgets shifting to support initiatives featuring Ellie's breakthroughs. How did you get this information? I ask, stunned by the comprehensiveness of his investigation. Dad kept records, he explains. and I have a talent for getting into places I shouldn't. Together, we compile a digital package more damning than anything I'd prepared alone. Evidence not just of personal betrayal, but systematic corruption that extends beyond Justin and Ellie to the highest levels of both schools' administrations. At midnight, my phone pings with the notification I've been waiting for. The international competition finalist list has been posted, with my pseudonym at the top. The invitation to present at the worldwide broadcast arrives seconds later. Ryder texts moments after, "Congratulations, ready for phase 3?" I respond with a single word, "Yes." The science fair erupts into chaos 2 days later. I watch the live stream from Ridgeview's library, pretending to study while the drama unfolds on my tablet screen. The judges have called an emergency assembly at Central High, attendance mandatory for all participants and mentors. Dr. Langford stands at the podium, his expression grave as cameras capture every angle of the unfolding disaster. After thorough investigation, the committee has identified significant academic integrity violations in one of our winning projects. The camera pans to Ellie, her face already crumpling with foreknowledge. Justin sits beside her, knuckles white as he grips the edge of his chair. Ms. Chen's research on acoustic wavelength adaptation contains substantial portions duplicated from unpublished work by another student. Dr. Langford gestures, and 2 security guards step forward, carrying Ellie's display board and medal. The assembly hall fills with shocked whispers and the clicking of phone cameras as the medal is publicly removed from around Ellie's neck. She collapses into tears, mascara streaming down her face. "Who?" someone shouts from the audience. "Whose work did she steal?" Dr. Langford consults his notes. The original research appears to belong to Maya Harrington, formerly of Central High, now attending Ridgeview Academy. A collective gasp ripples through the assembly. The camera swings wildly to capture Justin's reaction. His face drained of color, eyes fixed on something off-screen. I realize he's staring at his phone, where my name is undoubtedly trending alongside hashtags like academic dishonesty and Central High scandal. "We have referred this matter to the Academic Review Board," Dr. Langford continues. "All of Ms. Chen's academic credentials are now under review, and Central High's competition privileges have been suspended pending full investigation." The camera finds Principal Mercer of Central High, her practiced smile nowhere in sight as she confers urgently with several stern-looking individuals, members of Justin's college recommendation committee, who happen to be in attendance for what they thought would be a celebration. My phone buzzes with texts from Ridgeview classmates. "OMG, are you watching this? They stole your research? Central High is getting destroyed." I don't respond to any of them, maintaining my cover of oblivious studying. Inside, I feel not the satisfaction I expected, but a strange hollowness. The revenge is unfolding perfectly, yet something feels incomplete. A shadow falls across my table. I look up to find Ryder, his expression carefully neutral. "Enjoying the show?" he asks quietly, sliding into the chair opposite me. "It's not about enjoyment," I reply, closing my tablet. "No." He raises an eyebrow. "Then what is it about, Maya?" Before I can answer, my phone rings. Cambridge University calling to confirm my early acceptance and discuss the unfortunate situation with my research being plagiarized. The admissions director assures me that the incident has only strengthened their interest in my work. As I end the call, Ryder watches me thoughtfully. "Phase 3 is working perfectly," he observes. "What's next?" "Transparency," I tell him, opening my laptop to reveal dozens of organized folders containing evidence of academic and financial misconduct. "This goes to every news outlet tomorrow morning." He nods slowly. "And tonight?" "Tonight I study," I say simply. The international competition is in 3 days, and unlike some people, I actually did the work. That evening, the news breaks wider. Not just about Ellie's plagiarism, but Justin's complicity. Text messages recovered from Ellie's phone reveal his explicit instructions to use Maya's research and assurances that she'll never know. Central High's debate team members, no longer afraid of Justin's influence, come forward with their own accounts of his manipulative behavior. I receive an email from the National Debate Association rescinding Justin's captain credentials and requesting an interview about my experiences of academic harassment. The carefully constructed house of cards is collapsing exactly as I planned. Justin's college recommendations are placed on hold. His father, Trustee Williams, issues a public statement distancing himself from his son's regrettable choices, while simultaneously facing scrutiny from the Department of Education over Ridgeview's Accessibility Fund mismanagement. My parents, who've largely stayed in the background of my revenge plot, call from their business trip in Tokyo. Maya, my mother begins cautiously, we're seeing some concerning news about your former school. Yes, I reply calmly. Academic integrity issues. And your research was involved. My father's voice holds a note of concern. It was stolen, I confirm, but it's being addressed now. They exchange a look I can't quite interpret through the video call. We trust you, my mother finally says. But remember what grandmother always said? Power without mercy is tyranny. Mercy without justice is weakness. I finish for her. I remember. After we hang up, I stare at the ceiling, turning her words over in my mind. Have I been tyrannical in my pursuit of justice? The question disturbs me more than I'd like to admit. My phone buzzes with a notification from Central High's student news feed. Justin has been removed from all leadership positions pending investigation. The accompanying photo shows him being escorted from the debate room, his expression shell-shocked. For the first time, I feel a twinge of something like regret. Not for exposing the truth, but for finding such methodical satisfaction in their destruction. The sensation is interrupted by a call from Dr. Langford himself, apologizing profusely for the committee's oversight and inviting me to present my original research at a special session of the National Science Foundation's Youth Summit next month. I accept graciously, playing the role of the surprised and grateful student. As night falls, I finalize my presentation for the international competition, meticulously checking every slide against my original research notes. The work is genuine, innovative. Everything Ellie claimed her stolen version was. The vindication should feel sweeter than it does. A text from Ryder breaks my concentration. Turn on the news, now. I switch to the local news live stream to find Justin's father at a hastily organized press conference, sweat beading on his forehead as he denies allegations of financial misconduct. Behind him, investigators are visible entering the Central High administrative offices, carrying boxes of financial records. Anonymous whistleblower provided extensive documentation, the reporter explains, showing systematic diversion of funds from both Central High and Ridgeview Academy over a period of 7 years. I didn't release those documents yet. My gaze falls on my phone, remembering Ryder's text and his detailed timeline of corruption. He must have sent the evidence himself, accelerating the timeline without consulting me. The reporter continues. Sources confirm that the Department of Education has frozen all discretionary funding to both institutions pending complete audit. My phone buzzes with a text from Justin. I know it was you. You've destroyed everything. I'm outside your house, ready to apologize. Please just talk to me. Through my bedroom window, I can see his car parked across the street, rain beginning to spatter its windshield. The storm that's been threatening all day has finally broken. Sheets of water cascading down as lightning flashes in the distance. I watch as he exits the vehicle, clutching a bouquet of white roses, my favorite, and stands in the downpour, looking up at my window with an expression of complete defeat. The next morning dawns bright and clear, the storm having washed away yesterday's heaviness. I dress carefully in Ridgeview's plain navy blazer, a deliberate choice for the day ahead. My overnight bag is already packed for the flight to the international competition tomorrow. As I descend the stairs, I find my parents waiting in the foyer, unusually solemn. It's time, my father says quietly. The board is expecting us. I nod, understanding immediately what he means. The charade of being ordinary students ends today, for both me and Ryder, though he doesn't know it yet. We arrive at Ridgeview to find reporters already gathered at the gates, alerted by a press release I hadn't known about. They surge forward as our car approaches, cameras flashing, shouting questions. Ms. Harrington, how does it feel returning to your grandmother's legacy? Is it true you've been attending incognito? Will you comment on the financial scandal? Justin is still there, looking bewildered as photographers angle for shots of me. His roses hang limply at his side, petals scattered on the wet pavement from last night's storm. Our eyes meet briefly through the car window before I look away. Principal Davis meets us at the entrance, flanked by board members in formal attire, those who remain after last night's revelations. Miss Harrington, we apologize for the circumstances of your experience here. Had we known you were Margaret Harrington's granddaughter? The statement hangs unfinished, both an apology and an admission that my treatment would have been entirely different had they known my identity. The hypocrisy is breathtaking. My parents step forward, finally dropping the secret they've kept for 17 years. My mother addresses the assembled press with practiced grace. When my mother, Margaret Harrington, established this institution, she envisioned a place where every student would receive equal opportunity regardless of background or ability. She begins. My daughter's experience here has proven that vision has been corrupted. My father continues. The family fortune remained in trust. Maya's identity kept secret so she'd grow resilient, develop character without privilege interfering. For 17 years, we've maintained this separation between the Harrington Foundation and Maya's educational journey. We wanted you to succeed on your own merits, he explains, both to me and the assembled crowd. But we can no longer stand by while our daughter faces discrimination at the very institution her grandmother built. The revelation sends ripples through the crowd. Students who ignored or mocked me now stare open-mouthed. Teachers who dismissed my accommodation requests suddenly find great interest in their shoes. The board chair, visibly nervous, steps forward with a prepared statement. In light of recent events and the return of the Harrington family to active involvement, the board is pleased to announce a merit scholarship program in Maya Harrington's name, specifically supporting students with disabilities. I notice Ryder at the edge of the crowd, his expression unreadable as he watches the spectacle unfold. I catch his eye and give a slight nod, acknowledging the unspoken question in his gaze. Did you know this was coming? My phone buzzes with notifications. Central High's debate team live streaming their emergency meeting from detention hall. I glimpse Justin on the screen, watching me with hollow eyes as his team discusses their uncertain future without his leadership. The press conference continues with announcements about my fast-track acceptance to Cambridge's summer program, the board's commitment to a complete administrative overhaul, and the establishment of a watchdog committee to ensure proper allocation of accessibility funds. Throughout it all, I maintain a composed expression, the perfect heiress reclaiming her birthright. Inside, I'm calculating the accelerated timeline. Ryder's independent action with the financial documents has compressed months of careful planning into days. The endgame is upon us sooner than I anticipated. As the crowd disperses, Ryder approaches, hands in his pockets. So, he says quietly, Harrington heiress, huh? That's quite a plot twist. You're one to talk, Mr. Reynolds, I reply, watching his eyes widen at my use of his real surname. Or did you think I wouldn't recognize the former board chairman's son, even with a changed last name? A slow smile spreads across his face. When did you figure it out? The moment you gave me those board records, I admit. No one outside the inner circle would have had access to those files. Your father wasn't just any board member. He was the chairman before Justin's father orchestrated his removal. Ryder nods, impressed. And you played along anyway. We had compatible goals, I say simply. And now? He asks. Before I can answer, my phone buzzes with a text from Justin. I'm outside your house. Ready to apologize, please. I show Ryder the message. He doesn't realize I'm still here. What will you do? Ryder asks. I consider the question carefully. The revenge has unfolded even more completely than I planned, accelerated by Ryder's intervention. Justin has lost everything. His position, his reputation, his future prospects. His father faces criminal charges. Central High's academic standing is in tatters. End it, I decide, cleanly. As we walk toward the parking lot, I notice Dylan and his basketball teammates watching us, their earlier hostility replaced by something approaching respect or fear. Principal Davis hovers nearby, clearly hoping for a private word, but I deliberately turn away. Need a ride? Ryder offers. I smile slightly. I think it's time I face Justin one last time. Rain begins again as I approach my house, fat drops splattering against the windshield of my parents' luxury sedan. Through the downpour, I can see Justin's figure on the curb, soaked through, still clutching the bedraggled remains of the white roses. He's been waiting for hours, determined to have his say. The driver pulls into the circular driveway, and Justin looks up, relief washing over his face as he recognizes the car. He steps forward eagerly as I emerge under the shelter of a large black umbrella held by our driver. Maya, he calls, hurrying toward me. Thank God, I've been waiting. I can see that, I interrupt coolly. Up close, he looks terrible. Eyes bloodshot from lack of sleep, clothes plastered to his body from the rain, hair disheveled. Nothing like the polished debate captain who once dismissed me so casually. Justin kneels on the curb, a theatrical gesture that might have moved me once. Forgive me, Maya. Let's start over. Why? I ask, genuinely curious despite myself. Because I'm a Harrington now. Because I have connections you want. No, he protests, though the flicker in his eyes betrays him. Because I made a terrible mistake. I never should have let you go. Let me go, I repeat incredulously. You didn't let me go, Justin. You discarded me when something shinier came along. You stole my research, gave my position to Ellie, and told everyone I wasn't good enough. He winces. I was stupid, selfish. But I've lost everything now, my scholarships, my position. My father's job is on the line. Yes, I interrupt, you have. Actions have consequences. I need you, Maya, he pleads, rising to his feet and stepping closer. You're brilliant. Together we could fix this mess, rebuild everything. For a moment, I study him, the boy I once thought I loved, reduced to begging on my doorstep. I feel nothing but a distant pity. I reach into my bag and withdraw a sealed envelope, handing it to him with steady fingers. Inside is the termination letter for his father's job as school trustee, finalized this morning after the financial investigation revealed the full extent of his embezzlement. What's this? He asks, turning the envelope over. The consequences I mentioned, I reply evenly. Your father's formal removal from Ridgeview's Board of Trustees, effective immediately. The criminal charges will follow separately. Justin's hands tremble as he processes my words. You did this? All of it? The investigation? The plagiarism exposure? Everything? You gave me plenty to work with, I observe. I just connected the dots. His expression darkens, desperation giving way to anger. This is insane. You've spent months planning some elaborate revenge scheme? Who does that? Someone who had nothing but time and motivation after being betrayed by everyone she trusted, I answer simply. Maya, please, Justin's voice cracks. I loved you. The declaration hangs between us, pathetic in its timing. Behind me, the driver opens the limo door. We're headed to the airport for my early departure to Cambridge. That's exactly the problem, Justin, I say, maintaining eye contact. You only claim to love people when they have something you want. What can I do? He asks, a final desperate plea. How can I make this right? I consider his question seriously. You can't. That's the point of consequences. Sometimes they're permanent. I answer with a calm no. Step into the limo and close the door. Through the tinted window, I watch him fade into the gray distance, standing motionless in the rain as we pull away. As we round the corner, I'm surprised to see Ryder waiting at the next block, duffel bag at his feet. The driver stops without my instruction, as if expecting him. Need a lift to the airport? Ryder asks as he slides in beside me, water dripping from his jacket. How did you know my flight time? I ask, genuinely surprised. He grins. I have my sources, plus your mother might have called my father this morning. Your father? I raise an eyebrow. I thought that he was a ruined alcoholic? Ryder finishes for me. He was for a while, but the Harrington Foundation helped him get treatment last year. Quiet rehabilitation, very discreet. Pieces click into place, my parents' unusual interest in my transfer to Ridgeview, their careful monitoring of my independent growth. The way they stayed deliberately removed from my revenge plot while simultaneously providing me with all the tools I needed. They knew, I realize aloud, about Justin, the plagiarism, everything. Ryder nods. They've been watching over you the whole time, just from a distance. Wanted you to handle it your way, prove yourself. And you? I ask, studying him with new eyes. Was befriending me part of some plan too? Initially, yeah, he admits with surprising candor. Dad suggested I keep an eye on you, but after that basketball incident, he shrugs. Let's just say my interest became personal. As we pull away, my seatmate Ryder, the Ridgeview troublemaker, I secretly tutored after discovering his undiagnosed dyslexia, now revealed as the son of my family's longtime ally, takes my hand. Ready for the next chapter? He asks quietly. The gesture feels unexpectedly right. I think I am. 6 months later, the ocean breeze ruffles my hair as I stand on Brighton Pier, watching seagulls circle above the churning English Channel. The evening light casts long gold shadows across the boardwalk, turning everything magical at the edges. England has been everything I hoped for, challenging academics, genuine friends, and most importantly, freedom from the person I used to be. Cambridge's summer immersion program led seamlessly into early matriculation for their advanced research track. My work on affordable hearing aid technology for developing countries has already attracted attention from several medical technology firms. Ryder sketches the coastline nearby, his talented hands capturing the interplay of light and water with quick, confident strokes. He transferred to a London art school after receiving a surprise scholarship, one anonymously endowed by the Harrington Foundation. His dyslexia, properly accommodated at last, no longer hinders his academic performance. Almost done, he murmurs, adding final touches to his drawing. This one's for the student exhibition next week. I smile, remembering how nervous he was about his first gallery showing last month. Now his work hangs in 3 London galleries, with a waiting list of buyers growing longer each week. My phone pings with an email notification. Central High's new principal requesting permission to implement my accessibility protocols as part of their institutional overhaul. Ridgeview underwent similar changes after the scandal, with my mother now chairing a reformed board of trustees. Going to answer that? Ryder asks, noticing my distraction. Later, I decide, slipping the phone back into my pocket. Some things can wait. We walk along the pier, stopping at a cafe for the caramel coffees. A small luxury we've made into a Friday tradition. The guitar busker who plays here most afternoons nods in recognition as we pass, switching to one of my favorite melodies. Life has settled into a pleasant rhythm, far removed from the calculated revenge that consumed me for so long. Sometimes I hardly recognize myself in memories of that cold, methodical girl who orchestrated the downfall of an entire social hierarchy. Any regrets? Ryder asks suddenly, as if reading my thoughts. I consider the question carefully, watching the late afternoon sun cast long shadows across the boardwalk. Not about exposing the truth, I reply finally. That needed to happen. But sometimes I wonder if I enjoyed the process too much. If I became too much like them in my pursuit of justice. Ryder nods thoughtfully. Power changes people, but you stopped. That's the difference. He's right. I could have continued the campaign of destruction. There were other targets, other injustices. Instead, I chose to walk away. My phone buzzes with a text from Justin. Please talk to me. One conversation. It's the 3rd message this month, each increasingly desperate. According to my mother, he's working at his uncle's hardware store now, community college in the evenings. His father awaits trial for financial fraud. I delete the message without responding and turn off my phone. Ryder looks up from his sketch. Everything okay? Perfect, I reply, watching seagulls wheel against the darkening sky. The mingled scents of caramel coffee from our cups, salt spray from the waves below, and the earthy cologne Ryder wears form a sensory anchor for this moment. This new life I've created for myself. A life without the bitter taste of revenge, focused instead on what I can build rather than what I can destroy. In the distance, lights begin to flicker on along the promenade as evening settles over Brighton. Students from the university pass by in laughing groups, none of them knowing or caring about my past. Here, I'm just Maya, researcher, student, friend. Not an heiress, not a victim, not an avenger. The exhibition opens at 7 next Thursday, Ryder reminds me, closing his sketchbook. Professor Winters specifically asked if you'd be there. Wouldn't miss it, I promise, linking my arm through his as we begin the walk back to our respective flats. We pass a newsstand where a magazine features Ellie on its cover, not for scientific achievement, but as a cautionary tale in an article about academic integrity. She's rebuilt some semblance of a life, I've heard, working with a youth organization that teaches ethics to high school students. A fitting redemption. As we reach the crossroads where our paths divide for the evening, Ryder hesitates. Dinner tomorrow? That new place by the harbor? Sounds perfect. I agree with a smile. Some cycles break only when you walk away smiling and never look back. I've learned that lesson well. The past is a closed chapter now, its lessons absorbed, but its poison neutralized. The future, with its bright uncertainty, beckons instead.